Welcome back to MMA Unleashed, where fight fans get their real stories, raw drama, and all the latest news from the octagon and beyond. Nearly 5 hours of breaking down 3 insane MMA stories that have set the community on fire. If you're listening at the gym, on a long drive, or just killing time on a Sunday, buckle in because we're about to go all in. We're talking about Sean Strickland, one of the most unpredictable characters in the UFC, making headlines again after reportedly knocking out a kid in sparring. That's right, the internet went crazy. Half the fans laughing, half the fans furious, and everyone asking if Sean went too far this time. Then we're going to shift gears to Jon Jones. Normally when Bones is in the headlines, it's for something like a massive comeback fight or, let's be real, some kind of legal trouble. But this time, he's trending because of a rumor that he's starting an OnlyFans. Yeah, I know, sounds wild. But it actually opens a bigger conversation about fighter pay, legacy, and how the internet is reshaping the way we look at MMA's biggest names. And finally, Alex Pereira, stone cold, the man who dethroned Izzy Adesanya and conquered 2 weight classes, running into Jamahal Hill, former champ, in a moment that immediately sparked fan hype about a possible clash. We're going long today. We're going deep. So grab a drink, grab a meal, maybe even grab a pillow. Because by the time this is done, you'll feel like you sat through a Joe Rogan episode, a fight companion, and a history lesson all in one. Let's get into it. Part 1. Sean Strickland drops a kid in sparring. 1. Strickland's background and persona. 20 minutes. Early life trauma. Talk about how Sean grew up in an abusive household, dealt with violence from a young age, and often mentions his difficult past shaping who he is today. Include how this led him to being angry, reckless, and addicted to fighting. Street fights. His teenage years were full of scraps outside gyms, which gave him his born fighter mentality. Fans often joke that Sean was sparring in Walmart parking lots before he was in the UFC. Escape into MMA. He's openly said MMA was his therapy. Instead of going to jail, he went to the gym. Emphasize his gratitude to fighting, even if his methods are controversial. Unfiltered reputation. Unlike most fighters who polish their media persona, Sean thrives on being raw. He'll talk politics, dark jokes, and offensive takes without caring who's listening. Classic Strickland moments: arrow, press conference rants, society is weak. Sparring sessions where he yells mid-round, "You can't stop me, bro!" Funny clips of him chasing guys around gyms, laughing while throwing punches. 2. The viral incident. Step-by-step description. Paint the picture. Sean sparring a younger, smaller opponent. He's applying real pressure, not light taps. The kid fires back but looks overwhelmed. Sean cracks him clean. Kid stumbles, goes down. Sean doesn't celebrate, just keeps marching like it's normal. Reactions online arrow. Half the MMA community. Classic Sean. This is why we love him. Other half. He should be banned. This is child abuse. Fans memeing the clip. When you ask for light sparring and get Sean Strickland. Other fighters reacting. Some pros laugh and defend Sean. That's just him. Others criticize hard sparring culture. 3. Sparring culture deep dive. Old school sparring wars. At gyms like Shoot Box, Wanderlei Silva, Shogun Rua, sparring was brutal. Black eyes, concussions, wars every day. Same with AKA, where Kane, DC, and Khabib would smash each other in the room. Many careers shortened. Modern approach, gyms like City Kickboxing, Adesanya, Volk, focus on technical flow, not damage. Fighters preserve their health and longevity. Science, studies show repeated head trauma in sparring adds up. Fighters with too many gym wars often burn out earlier. The concept of miles on the chin. Justin Gaethje equals swears by hard sparring. That's who I am. Max Holloway equals stopped sparring years ago. Believes it saved his career. Sean's role. Is he keeping old-school sparring alive or just reckless and dangerous? This debate splits the community. Chris Curtis stories. Curtis said sparring Sean is like fighting for your life every week. Funny, but also exhausting. Amateur stories. Rumors of Sean going too hard on visiting fighters or smaller partners. Trash talk mid-sparring. Sean often jokes, insults, and laughs mid-round. He'll say things like, "You can't hurt me, little man," even while throwing bombs. Gym culture debate. Some coaches love his intensity because it toughens fighters. Others hate it, saying it scares away new prospects. Should gyms ban him? Or is he iron sharpening iron? The ethical debate. Pros versus kids. Should high-level UFC fighters ever spar children or teens at real power? Or is that straight-up unethical? Building toughness versus recklessness. Some say tough sparring builds champions. Others say it builds concussions. Coach's responsibility. If a fighter like Sean won't hold back, isn't it the coach's job to step in? Comparisons arrow. Boxing equals often controlled sparring, but gym wars exist. Wrestling equals hard, but not concussive. MMA equals weird middle ground, risk of KO in practice. Final point. Does Sean represent what MMA was? Or is he holding it back from what it should become? Wrap-up and audience call. Pose questions. Is Sean Strickland the necessary villain of MMA, the guy who keeps it raw and real? Or did he finally cross a line by dropping a kid? Segue. Speaking of chaos, if Sean is the gym villain, then Jon Jones might be the UFC's ultimate wildcard. And this week, he's trending for maybe the weirdest rumor yet, starting in only for West. Let's dive into that circus. Jon Jones, legacy refresher. Youngest UFC champion ever at 23, defeating legends in dominant fashion. Major wins: Shogun Rua, Rampage, Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, DC Glover. The GOAT debate, his resume versus Khabib's undefeated record, GSP's professionalism, Silva's striking legacy. Off-cage issues, DUIs, cocaine, hit and run, failed drug tests. Jones's career is a mix of brilliance and chaos. Why it spread? Jones already has a reputation for unpredictable behavior. The idea was believable enough to trend. Trolls making memes. Serious fans saying it ruins his legacy. Some saying, who cares? He's a grown man. UFC economics. Explain fighter pay, split versus overall UFC revenue. Why fighters seek side hustles. Many start YouTube's, Twitch streams, even Patreon. Examples. Paige Van Zandt making millions on OnlyForgeX. Other fighters moving to influencer platforms. The debate, should a legend like Jon Jones need to? Or is this about control over his own brand? Message it sends. Even the GOAT might look for ways outside UFC pay. That says a lot about MMA economics. 4. Jones's image and legacy clash. Would it damage him? Some say yes. Others say Jones's legacy is already set in stone. Comparison to others, arrow. GSP equals discipline, no scandals, forever respected. Khabib equals religious, family man, globally admired. Anderson Silva equals martial artist, humble. Jon Jones equals brilliant fighter but constant drama, the chaos brand. Maybe Jon likes being unpredictable. Maybe this rumor fits his identity perfectly. Ask the audience, would you sub to Bones if it was real? Does this change your view of him at all? Should fighters unionize to avoid needing things like this? Part 3. Alex Pereira versus Jamahal Hill. 1. Pereira's rise. Kickboxing legend, double champ in glory. UFC rise, straight into rivalry with Adesanya. Beating Izzy, then moving up and conquering Jiri. Pereira's aura, calm, quiet, deadly. 2. From Contender Series to UFC champ. His style: confident boxing-heavy approach. Injury setback, Achilles, recovery, hunger to return. Personality equals playful, outspoken, total opposite of Pereira. The run-in moment: Pereira's stone face versus Hill's energy. Fans reacting online with memes, Hill talking paragraphs, Pereira saying nothing but winning the stare. 4. Fantasy matchup analysis. Pereira's weapons: elite kickboxing, power, patience. Hill's weapons: boxing, volume, cardio. Game plan keys for both. UFC matchmaking: could headline a PPV, would draw huge numbers. Ask fans, do you see Pereira dominating again? Or does Hill shock the world? Build hype for UFC's future. LHW storylines. 5 minutos. Alright guys, that's almost 5 hours of pure MMA chaos. Sean Strickland turning sparring into a viral war zone. Jon Jones trending for the wildest rumor of his career. And Alex Pereira possibly facing Jamahal Hill down the road. If you made it this far, you're a real one. Drop your thoughts below. Let me know which story blew your mind the most. And don't forget to subscribe. We've got more long-form breakdowns coming soon. Stay safe, stay sharp, and remember, in MMA, chaos is always around the corner.